Now we know gaming is going to be one of the best narratives this cycle. So the best thing to do is to position yourself in this sector. Now, the only problem with gaming is the fact that it has become very saturated. In the previous cycle, we had a handful of good gaming projects, but now we got hundreds to thousands of different gaming projects, and they're all pretty decent. So you have to be very picky. A lot of these have very harsh vesting schedules. This is the one thing about this year. All the new tokens that have launched this year has become, very greedy in the sense where most of them have catered to early investors. So you see these projects have 30, 40, 50% of the supply, for early investors. Those are the ones you have to avoid. So if the vesting is good, the game is decent, you got good backers, good, partnerships, good exchanges, those are the ones you want to go for. So starting on the list is Immutable X. I don't know why it's all pitch black, but Immutable X is a 5 to 10x coin. It's fundamentally one of the best projects in the crypto space. It's one of the leading, coins in this narrative. So when you see Immutable X pumping, you know that gaming narrative is going to follow soon. I will put in the 5 to 10x just based on the market cap. Mavia is fundamentally very strong. They got very good partnerships, good backers. They're backed by Binance Labs, which is massive, and they haven't been listed on Binance yet. That means they have the potential to list on Binance at some point. And for that reason, they have multiple downloads in the App Store, Google Store, and people do tend to play the game. So I can see this doing a 20 to 30x. Now the market cap is under 50 million, and this could potentially reach at least 1 billion in market cap, maybe a bit less. Like I said, this sector is saturated. There's thousands of gaming projects, so the money has to spread, amongst the best ones. And I think Mavia could do a 20x or 30x. I would put in the 20x to be conservative. I think with the Binance listings, it could push for a bit more. Let's just put in the 30x. I think it has the potential to do a 30x max. I don't think you'll do anything more than a 30x, but you could also do anywhere between a 20 to 30x. I think it's possible. Neon Heroes, same thing. I think fundamentally strong, good backers, good exchanges. It will get showed by Alex Becker. The vesting schedule is very solid for both of these projects. That's why I think it can do very well. I think there's no unlocks for another 200 days for Neon. And, the only problem with Neon is it's just another first shooter game. There's too many of those, in general, and a lot in the crypto space. So for it to stand out is going to be hard. But they got a solid website. The game is decent. I still think it can do a 30x. Aether Games, I think this project is just not worth the investment. I mean, card games in general are just not worth. This had a lot of hype behind it. But when it launched, a lot of people just didn't care because they kept delaying their launch, and eventually people just gave up on this project. I think it can run again for sure, but I personally would not put my money into this. I would put it in the not worth category. And it will still pump, obviously. Just because a project is in this category, it doesn't mean that it's not going to pump. It's just that I personally would not take the risk, on putting my money here. At the end of the day, we are here to make money. You sit through 3 years of bear market for 1 year of bull just to get a 5 to 10x. I don't really think that's worth. Unless you obviously put in large amounts of money, then it's fine. But a lot of my viewers are degen, and they want the 30x's, the 20x's, the 50x's. That's where you make real money. And I don't think Aether Game is going to give that to you. Corpo, I think is good. The vesting is quite a little bit harsh. It's not too harsh. When it first launched, I think it was like 10x dilution, which is, I think now is like 2 to 3x. They got decent backers. Website's good. They do buybacks and burns, which is quite. I think it can do a 20x. Even a 30x is possible for Corpo. For now, I'll put in the 20x category just because the vesting isn't the best. Metacade, when it first launched, a lot of people was quite bullish on it, but then the CEO, both of them decided to fight each other. One of them left, and these guys don't really have the funds behind them to do that well. So I would put this, in the 10 to 20x category. I don't think it'll do anything more than that. Bold is a weird one because they have some sort of cricket games, but they got very good backers. The team's quite solid. There's the Axie Infinity team, but they're going to release different sports. But at the moment, they only have a cricket side, which a lot of people don't really like cricket in general. So I personally, I did make a list before, a gaming list, and I had this in the 50x category. But recently, they haven't really done no updates. They haven't really been doing anything significant. I personally would put this in as tier. I don't think it's worth. These are the type of tokens you buy, when the gaming narrative is hot and this hasn't pumped yet, you chuck in a bit of money in there because they have the potential to go on to do a 50x, 100x. When I bought Creo, it was like 100k to 80k market cap. No one was talking about Creo. It was more or less dead, and then he went on to do 100x. So this is the type of token I see this as. When the gaming narrative takes off, you could chuck in a few hundred because at that point everything pumps. So you could go on to do 100x for all we know. But at the moment, but the thing is, it might rug from now to the bull run starts. So I don't personally wouldn't take that risk. This is like a trade. Our game, same thing, trade. I personally would not buy it now. The team behind this project is the same team that rugged Fabo out, because Fabo now is community takeover. So the community is more or less developing the project. But then the same guy that rugged Fabo out is the same guy behind this project. And that's why I would stay away from it. Vanry is pretty good, 5 to 10x. The market cap is quite high. Arcade is decent. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's decent. The vesting isn't the best either. It's like 3, 4x dilution. I will put in the 10 to 20x category because of the market cap is fairly low. Crown, same thing, 10 to 20x. I think Alex Becker will show this. I think the horse racing narrative will take off once again, as it done in previous bull runs. Alexa Games is pretty good. It's like the Steam of crypto. I think it has the potential to do a 20x because the market cap is fairly low. It's like $7-8 million in market cap. I would not be surprised if it does a 20x and then it maybe even goes to a 30x. Put in the 30x just to be, I think it has that potential to do so. There's a lot of games being launched on this, and they got a lot of funds behind them as well. That's what I think you could do. Okay, the only thing that people don't like about this is, as this launched, it more or less killed Lit Labs games, and I think the team from Lit Labs is correlated to this, and most of them have left Lit Labs and more or less focused on Alexa games. That's the only reason people don't like them. GHX is not too bad. Gaming, Deepin, it has the potential to do a 10 to 20x. It's already advanced significantly now. So the likely chances of this going on to do a 30x, 50x from this point on is very unlikely. I think there's other gaming projects similar to this. I think Game On is one of them. I don't have it on the list, but I think that could easily do a 20 to 30x as well. OTK, I think if any gaming project that's under 10 million that has great potential is OTK is that coin, because it's backed by the Solana Foundation. It will be on the new Solana phone. It has a dual earning mechanism where you can not only earn the tokens, but you can also earn in-game reward, real world rewards. Sorry, so you can actually play the game, earn the tokens, and you can earn real world rewards, which is quite massive. The dual earning mechanism is what kind of makes this stand out above most other projects. And because it's on a bullish chain, Solana, and it's backed by the foundation, I do think it can do a 50x. Now you have to be careful. A lot of people don't like this because it's not listed on many exchanges. But if you speak to the team and you follow what the project's doing, the team has already mentioned that they got a bunch of 2-3 different exchange listings already lined up. But it's about doing it at the right time. If they was to get a Mexi, a Gay, or whatever exchange listing now, it may cause a little pump, but ultimately it will dump back down. However, if you do it during the narrative hype, it will have a much more effect on how much it pumps. And that's why I like the project, because it shows the team is competent. They got good backers. The earning is solid. I think for most gaming projects, the most important thing is the earning mechanism. If the project has good earning mechanism, it perform well. This is why Axie Infinity performed the best the last cycle, not because it had AAA style games. It was because the earning was solid. People were playing it and earning money, and that's what you want in these gaming projects in order to get the crazy amounts of X's. ICNX, very low cap, just under $1 million in market cap. I still think it can do a 30x because it's so low in market cap. People like playing car racing games. And for that reason, a 30x for this is definitely possible. Cap Games, I don't really think is worth the investment. I think this project is terrible. They got so many different games, but no one really plays them. And it just got pumped and dumped by a few influencers. I personally would stay away from this. Altura, same thing. I don't think is a relic from the previous cycle. It's one of those projects that, if Alex Becker shows it, it can do okay. But the likely chances of I don't even think he can save the project. I think he may be able to cause a 5x pump, a 10x pump. Anything more than that, I don't think is realistic for this project. I personally would not hold it. But I think a 5 to 10x is definitely possible, just because Alex Becker will shit it. Meta host Unity. Now, because I think Crown will do very well, what tends to happen is when one project does well, people tend to go look for alternative versions of that project. And this is where MetaHost Unity comes in. I think, if you compare MetaHost Unity to Crown, I don't think they're that much apart. These guys have, Crown has one game, but MetaHost Unity has 3 different games, which we'll be releasing. Is going to be cross-platform. And the best thing is it's built on Beam. So they're very close to Beam. And the team behind this is actually the team that made Sandbox. So they got a good reputation behind them. The game is decent. When you have 3 different games, people are likely to play you rather than if you just have Crown, which is just one game. But like I said, if Crown does well, people will look for alternative versions of Crown. And because this is only a few 100K in market cap, I can see this doing a 50x. And I like the team's solid. They got very good backers. Same team that built Sandbox. So they're reputable. It's built on Beam. I think it can do very well. As esports as well. So they have regular tournaments, which is something that a lot of people like. Because if you think of it like this way, if you're from a third world country and you can play a tournament every month where you can earn 5K, 10K by playing a game on your phone, because it is cross platform, people are likely to play that game. Portal 5 to 10x, nothing more than that. Why? Because the vesting is very harsh and it's quite high in market cap as well. Prime, same thing. Market cap is very high, but I think Prime is fundamentally very strong. So therefore, I think it can perform well. Shrapnel is a little bit lower in market cap, but it has the potential to do a 10 to 20x. Why? Because the game is very, very good. The quality is AAA. The only thing is the vesting is too harsh. It's been diluted by early investors. And this is something that is a massive concern this cycle. Cetus AI, well, not AI, but Cetus is pretty good as well. I think it has the potential to do a 10 to 20x. The market cap is on the higher side, but it has good potential. I think Alex Becker will pump this as well. Carrot has the potential to do a 30x. Why? The game is very good. They got very good backers, Disney, Warner Brothers, a few other companies as well. I think, fundamentally, they got very good exchanges. I think Coinbase listing will happen as well. Maybe a Binance. I think they're already on Coinbase. Maybe a Binance listing is on the card for this as well. Therefore, I think this project could do well. The game is solid. They got very good backers. I think overall is a good project. The vesting isn't the best, but it's like a 2-3x dilution. It's not much. It's not the best, but it's not too much either. Creo Engine has the potential to do a 30x. I think I'll put in the 30x category. Why? Because Creo, although the games are not the best, but the earning is decent. They've got the Asia community behind them. I bought this very early on, like 80K market cap. And I made a mistake where I sold it too early. And then it went on to do like 100x afterwards, which is which was quite heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Domi, 10 to 20x. I'm bullish on Avalanche games. Anything on Avalanche gaming wise will do well. And I think Domi can do very well. I think the MORPG style of game will do well. I think they released a game recently as well, which is bullish. Freeball, 10 to 20x. If you guys follow Freeball, the team has said they will start marketing again when the gaming narrative takes off. When the market gets in better conditions, they will start marketing again. And I still think it can do a 10 to 20x. There's not much dilution for this project left. I think most of the tokens have been diluted now, which is a good sign. Ancient 8 has the potential to do, a 20x, a 30x. To be conservative, I'll put in the 20x category, but it is a very good project with some very good backers. They are building Telegram games, which is quite bullish, but not a lot of people know about this project. I think it's brand new. And I still think I'll put in the 30x category. I think it has that potential to do a 20 to 30x. And they got some decent exchanges as well. The only thing is the market cap is quite high and the vesting is decent as well. Big Time 10 to 20x. Not much to say about Big Time. They have a decent game. They got the Alex Becker NFT. He'll probably shoot it at some point. Beam 5 to 10x. Fundamentally one of the best gaming projects. I think Beam will do well, and therefore MetaHost Unity will do well as well. Everdome is just not worth the investment. Look, the metaverse is more or less dead. I don't think people are going to talk about the metaverse anymore. So for that reason, I don't think you guys should invest into any metaverse tokens unless you're going to trade them short term. Engine of Fury, the vesting is very bad. The team is solid. They got some very good people from different companies working for them, behind the team at least. The only thing is the vesting is very harsh. You're looking at 4 or 5x dilution, and the majority of the supply is like between 30 to 50% of the supply is in the hands of early investors. That's a major red flag for me. put in the 10x to 20x category max. I think investing matters a lot, especially when the team holds, well, the early investors holds half of the supply. I think that's a major red flag. G3 is quite good. This is very similar to Miria, but they're like a game aggregator. If you look at most gaming projects in the crypto space, you can find it on G3. And I think it has the potential to do a 20x. I think it's a good project. Gamey 5 to 10x. It got hacked recently, but the fact of developing Telegram games is quite bullish. I think that narrative can do well. GameSwift 10 to 20x. They've recently fixed the tokenomics, and ultimately the market cap is a lot higher now. They're partnering with Fetch AI, which is bullish. But like I said, because the market cap is a lot higher now, it's not going to give you anything more than a 10 to 20x in a bull run. GAU, same thing, 10 to 20x. Market cap is like 40 million now. I found this quite early, but I just, you couldn't really buy it because it wasn't on any really real dexes. When it got on Trader Joe, that's when it started going parabolic. But this is a decent project, very similar to OTK Plays app, but it's on the Avalanche chain, and that's why it's done very well. Illuvium just not worth the investment. I know a lot of people are still buying this, but personally, I wouldn't touch it. This is a relic from the previous cycle. They game out. No one really cared. People don't really care about Metaverse tokens anymore. So I personally would not invest into it. Metadose is not too bad. It could has the potential, to do a 20x, but the vesting isn't the best. And well, the vesting is decent now, but at one point it was really bad. Now it has, most of the tokens have. Well, I think there's like kind of 2x dilution now to the end of 2025, which is not too bad. But the thing is, there's not play to earn, and if a project is not play to earn, I don't think people will play it because if you compare Web 2 to Web 3 games, everyone will just play Web 2 games. The thing is, what makes Web 3 stand out is the earning mechanism, and if you're not play to earn, I just don't think people will play you. So 5 10x is possible for this, but I'll put in the 10x category just because it's so low in market cap. Miria 10 to 20x as well. Magic 5 to 10x. I think this is a relic from the previous cycle. I don't think it's going to do that well. Naka, I'll put in the 30x category. I think Naka has great potential. They partner with Microsoft. They got good backers. Not much dilution. I think overall Naka is one of my favorite gaming projects in the crypto space. Notcoin 5 to 10x. PYR is not really worth the investment. Sandbox not worth the investment. This is not worth the investment. I've been warning people about Plays app for like over a year now. Why? When you see a project, paying a bunch of influencers during a bear market, and it causes a decent pump, and then goes on a 10-month downtrend, that's something to be alarmed of. Why? Because the reason it pumped, if something don't have an organic pump, it's very unlikely to be sustainable. So when you see this doing a 10x in a short period of time, and then goes on a 10-month downtrend, that's a red flag because it got manipulated. A lot of people pumped it up, and then those people are weak hands, so they sell. And then now recently they got hacked. And I don't believe none of this hacked business because you have to think it's definitely one of the devs taking profits. It's very rare that any of these projects actually get bridged or hacked. They call it a hack. One of the devs take profits, then they migrate and they forget that anything like that happened. They mint more, they mint new tokens, give it to the same people that held it, and then they could do it again. Look at Alliance Block; they got hacked 2 times now. So you could see the same thing happen to this again. And I don't really trust projects that randomly get bridged or hacked, because 9 times out of 10 is very unlikely that it is an actual hack. It's just one of the devs taking profits. That's all it is. Sinet is decent. So because CDUS could do well, 10 to 20x, this could outperform CDUS because it's a lot lower in market cap. But this could do a 20x or 30x. Let's just put in the 20x category. Star Atlas 5 to 10x. I'm not really bullish on the Metaverse narrative. They got a game out. The game looks decent. Sounds Solana. It can definitely pump, but I personally would not buy it. But if you hold it, it will do a 5 to 10x for you. Superverse, same thing. Superverse could do a 10x, I think, because I think everyone is going to talk about Superverse. All the big influencers, they already talk about it now. In a bull run, when retail comes in, retail is going to listen to the big influencers, and they are going to show Superverse hard. So I think it can do a 10x. UFO, this project is terrible. I wouldn't touch it. Wagme Games, I wouldn't touch it. I don't think this project is that good. Not AI could do a 5x, 10x. The games are solid, website solid, good backers. I think a 10x is possible. I've already done CDUS. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do this quite regularly. I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye-bye.